Okay, so I'm officially opening and calling to order the meeting of the Bethlehem Industrial Development Agency Audit Committee. We'll go around the room and introduce ourselves. My name is Georgette Steffens-Altamari. I'm the chair of the Audit Committee.
Victor Franco, non-voting member.
Victoria Stores, voting member of the Audit Committee.
Richard Kahlo, treasurer but non-voting member of the Audit Committee.
Kate Hedgeman, executive director and agency counsel.
John Friscoen, auditor.
Matt Moses, Barclay Damon for one of the applicants in the IBA.
Wonderful. So everyone had received a copy of the draft audit prior to the meeting. As usual, there were no items that were, alarming or items of concern. We also had an increase in, total value, which is obviously something we want to see year over year as well. So I will turn it over to you, John, if you want to sort of go through the audit.
Sure, thanks. So the audit was, actually the fieldwork was started in mid-January. I think we had drafts to you guys by the end of January. So, there's a pretty quick turnaround. Al is in charge of, the accounting for that. And, like Georgette said, there's, one of the first things in the audit, obviously, is we go through the internal controls, just making sure that there's good segregation of duties, that there's good review and approval processes, and during our walkthroughs of those internal controls, that's typically when we would have any kind of findings or recommendations for our clients. But as you can see in the letter to the board of directors, which is where we would have any of our findings, we did not have any findings for 2024. No significant deficiencies to report, no material weaknesses to report. You did receive a clean opinion on the overall audit itself, also known as an unmodified opinion. I believe your net assets were just shy of 1.8 million at the end of 2024. Net assets increased about just over 130,000 for the year, taking your revenues and expenses into consideration. Just some of the things to note, just a couple of the highlights were, obviously you invested in more CDs this year, so your interest income actually almost tripled.
Thank you, Dick.
I know that was a topic that, back when we first took you guys on. So to see that at $59,000 is definitely something. Obviously, revenues were down about 47%, but that's because 2023, there's a lot more administrative fees for some of those Port of Albany contracts that you had. PSEG also went down slightly during 2014 or 2024. It's also, just dependent on energy demand. So, and then your expenses were up about 43%. I think there's a new line item there for business and economic development for the CPL architects for the professional study that you had in 2024. So overall, even though the revenues are down, your expenses are up. Still, with the interest income up, had a change in net position of a positive 132,000.
We also, with the work of the board, we increased our insurance. That was really a major expense that we've undertaken to protect our assets.
Yeah.
And to protect the organization.
So overall clean audit, no findings, no recommendations.
All the things you want to
Yeah,
hear
that's right.
after an audit report. Did anyone have any specific questions about that maybe we didn't go through?
I think it's excellent.
Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Nope, I didn't.
So maybe do we want to do a motion to move the draft audit to the board for
Yes.
final approval?
Yeah.
So-
I'm happy to do that motion. I think the first thing I want to do, Georgette, is put forward a motion to approve the minutes,
Well,
which were
Oh,
extremely
I was
brief.
gonna wait until after this, because you've already had this discussion on the table, so let's go back and do the minutes,
All right.
if you would.
Yep,
I
That's
do
okay.
that every time at the port too.
That's all right.
Yeah, so
That's all right.
whatever.
I just don't want to zigzag, because the record won't be as clear if we
Sure.
zigzag. So,
So which motion do you want?
So do I need a motion and she votes then, because there's just the two of us that
Yeah.
are voting members? Okay, so I will make the motion to approve the draft minutes, the draft audit as presented, to move it to the full board for final adoption.
I will second the motion to bring the draft audit to the full board.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Obviously no abstentions because it's the two of us. Okay, so thank you both, Al and John. Thank you very much. We appreciate, all the work that you put into it. Thank you to Kate and her team as well, and the work that Dick has done both on our financials as well as the CDs, the interest. Like, that's a big deal. Yeah. Thank you, Al. Yeah. I think we're all a little jealous here in Florida, so. All right, so I will make a motion to approve the minutes from our last audit committee meeting.
I will second that motion. I have no changes.
All right, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and then with no other business, so we talked about next year moving the audit meeting, this year, but for next year's audit, moving it in December. So we'll work on a date to review the audit plan.
Preliminary,
Yeah. So the first meeting in December. So we'll have that as part of our December, maybe after our December board meeting.
Okay.
And then otherwise, I will motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion to adjourn the audit committee meeting.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes,
All right.
we'll have in December.
Hmm?
Don't presume we have a December board meeting.
Yeah,
well, we'll see when we get
Yeah,
there.
when we get closer, if we have to have a special,
Right.
that means
So
it's a
recording on.
10-minute meeting.
And I do
Yeah.
have all this paper if you want it for
Oh,
you.
wow, yes, please. So
I can also get
is the recording off?
preliminary.
No.
We took a motion to adjourn,
Out
correct?
to,
Yes,
you know,
and
the-
it passed
what's that?
unanimously.
Yes.